we'll make this the start. We do a very informal kickoff, and we always kick it off with introductions. So tell the people who you are and what you do.
Well, I'm Bill Sarris. I am president of Sarris Candies, Canonsburg, Pennsylvania. And I've been in the candy business for quite a long time. I grew up in the business. It's hard to pick a date to say when I started.
Yeah, would like fetus be a good date?
Well, my dad started the business in our basement in 1960. So I was born in 53. So, growing up there, and so I was always in our basement downstairs helping out. And I had certain jobs that my dad would make me do. And I always remember one was after school, I wanted to go sled riding. And my dad said, "Hey, you got to make 12 bunnies before you can go." Well, at that time, we only had one candy mold. So I would help pour the chocolate in the mold, and it took about 20 minutes, 25 minutes for it to get cool enough to take the mold out and start over. So by the time I got mine, it was time for bed. So I never did get the sled ride. But that's, that's one thing that I remember, and how we started. That was it. Interesting story, I guess.
Yeah, well, I think that's always funny where there's like that one moment that really sticks out. It's like whether it's like a huge lesson or even like a trauma where you're like, man, like that really is like I guess like a milestone moment in your mind. But so I'm just unbelievably honored to be able to sit down and have a conversation with you. I'm going to hit you with probably every compliment I could possibly give you. Sarris Candies is so much more than a brand to me. It's like a narrative that weaves through my entire life. It's hardly an exaggeration to say that everything you offer set my standards for candies and chocolates. My Easter basket might as well have been called a Sarris basket. Same with my Christmas stocking. In Pittsburgh, Sarris, is to candy and chocolate what Heinz is to ketchup, So I think I need to start with the most hard-hitting question there is. You've been surrounded by this your entire life. What is your single most favorite thing that Sarris Candies offers?
Oh, boy. You're talking about what one item that I enjoy. If I'm going to pick an item to eat, what would it be?
Yep.
Oh, boy. Let me say, well, peanut butter. I'll have a peanut butter cup.
Oh, okay.
That's my favorite thing. If I'm gonna snatch and go, it's gonna be a peanut butter cup.
Peanut butter cup.
Always been that's my go-to.
I'm sure this is such a generic thing to say, but of course I love the chocolate covered pretzels. The Florentine lace cookies are always amazing for Christmas. But I think people sleep on the Easter jelly beans. I think they are amazing.
We have a custom made jelly beans. We don't make the jelly beans. We have them made for us. And for years. So that's our primary recipe, recipe for jelly beans.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I can tell you now, maybe I shouldn't, but this year, because of the COVID, we had to reformulate and find a different manufacturer to produce our jelly beans this year. So we're either in for a really big treat or we're in for a really big flop. And at least we have somebody to blame. There's something to blame. Let me put it that way. We have something to blame. But no, we're working really hard with another company to try to reformulate and try to get exactly what we had before. And as well as I do, it's not going to be exactly. You really let me down right now mentioning jelly beans.
Oh, sorry about that, man.
Basically, you spilled the bean.
Oh. Well, I think that we dangled a nice carrot, so we at least we're generating interest either way.
Yes, you definitely did.
So I'm sure there are people out there who would simply describe Sarris as a chocolate company or a candy shop in Canonsburg, but I see Sarris as just so much more. To me, it's like a happiness factory. Like it's a joy manufacturer to me. If Sarris Candy was present, it was always a positive moment in my life. Sarris basically triggers my best versions of nostalgia. So I can't help but wonder how you see Sarris as a brand and a company. Like, what is Sarris Candies to you from the perspective of somebody who has literally grown up along with it?
Well, ideally, you know what? Growing up with it, I always used the word that you just used, and that was brand. You wanted to build our brand, okay, and make it something special. Not so much as a company, but making it something special for people. And, you know, I'm not really great with compliments, but I love what you're saying, because when we have this in people, I'm finally seeing it. How many generations have grown up? You know, this would have been our 60th birthday this year, which we planned a big celebration, and of course we couldn't do that. But you know, it's a brand we want to make, and we do our best to make sure we make the best possible chocolate, plain chocolate that we can make. And that is, you know, there's not too many ingredients in chocolate, okay? It's the cocoa beans, which are number one, okay? Milk, number two. And of course, there's sugar, okay? So, you know, you don't have many ingredients in chocolate. So to make it what we think is the best tasting chocolate that you can have. And it's all about the beans, okay? And not jelly beans, beans, okay? It's all about the beans, you know, and that's what we source and what we do. And then they change. You know, it's just like anything, especially when you see people growing tomatoes or doing stuff like that in their garden from year to year. Okay, you may have the best tomatoes in the world, but you have slightly different this time, maybe the weather and things like that. So, you know, we do our best to make sure that from batch to batch, that chocolate tastes like it did years after year. So, you know, that's important. It's important to the brand. That's a huge word. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and it's fun. Okay, and that's what we want. We want people to enjoy themselves. We want people to, you know, people would come to our store and still do, and spend time there. Okay, they look around. We have castles. We have a wall of chocolate now. We have art all over the walls. The ice cream parlor. It's fun. It's enjoyable. When people leave there, we want them smiling. That's the brand. It's a happy place.
Yeah, how surreal is it for you that like this is your life? Like I can't imagine being surrounded by candy my entire life. You know, I would never stop having fun with it, I don't think.
You know what? Again, growing up with it, I'm so used to it that when somebody will come in for a tour, or you invite somebody in to look around and see that they are amazed at what goes on behind the scenes there. You know, it's just it's a crazy little candy place, and we still do things by hand that we've done from as far as I can remember. Yeah, there's machinery now that does. I don't make just 12 bunnies in a night anymore. Okay,
you actually get to go sled riding now.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So that's a lot different, but we have machines that help our employees do their job. It's not, we don't get machinery to eliminate employees or eliminate jobs. And that's a line, an answer that that sounds a little bit strange, but it is. It's our equipment helps our employees do their job, and they're still hands-on. If you come in there and you see how many people there that have to be there to touch, to bag, to feel, it's, again, it's every day for me, and it's hard to explain it because there's so much going on, but it's fun.
But I love these. So this is kind of the reason why I started doing this kind of version of the podcast, because those little tidbits right there, like you saying that, to me means that it's about efficiency and streamlining, not about automation and like cutting costs, getting rid of workers. You know, you're just trying to you're just trying to better the process for the people that are working for you.
Yes, it for your employees, you're doing it for your customers. You know, things at times have changed. As, you know, you can't stick your hands in the batches anymore and taste them, and you can't grab stuff they can do. So, you know, it's, in that sense, it's different, where it used to be my dad and my grandfather, and my dad would be in the kitchen. My grandfather was helping him. I would sit there and help him, you know, and there was 3 people, and then his sister would come and help. And then his other sister came to help. And slowly but surely, you know, he built the company. I mean, my dad was the best salesman in the world. Okay. He loved people. Okay. He always told me, I says, you know what, you can be Colonel Sanders. Just leave me in the back. I'll take care of things back here. But he was the face, you know, he was the face of the company. He was the guy. I mean, he loved everybody. He could talk to, he was at the White House, you know, with the president. I took him to a hockey game one time, and we go into the hockey game, you know, and we walk in, and there's a guy outside of the arena playing a trumpet, sitting down with his box open, looking for change. I lose my dad. I can't find him. I'm leaving the arena. I don't know where he's at. He's on the ground sitting next to the guy playing the trumpet. He knew the guy's whole life story. Of course, took care of him very well. And then we're getting in the car, and he says, you know something? One thing I don't understand. I says, what's that? He says, I buy my tennis shoes at Kmart. They were $20. He had $150 tennis shoes on. I said, why didn't you ask him that? But yeah, that was him. He enjoyed talking to everybody, and that makes a great salesman.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My dad was actually in sales as well. And you know, he's definitely the type of guy that can yak your ear off about a number of different things. So I get it. I know exactly what that's like, and growing up underneath of that for sure. But yeah, as far as, you know, you were saying how brand is so important. My mom is just, it's Sarris or bust with her. That's what I was raised on. You know,
I hope so.
Yeah. I mean, it was really all I knew. And you said, like, you know, just plain chocolate, right? It's such a simple thing. But there's such a difference between like those little chocolate molds that are just Sarris chocolate molds, and like that thing you get from Kmart that's like a hollow bunny, and it's the most disgusting thing ever. Like, there's just a massive difference between the two.
And there should be. There is. It's
yes.
Like anything. It's like anything. It's restaurants. It's cars. It's anything else. There's there's an opportunity to pick and choose which direction you want to go. High end, low end, middle of the road, but you always have options. Okay. And we just hope that people really enjoy when they take a bite that they want another one. You know, we want them you want to be satisfied enough. And you know, you talk about that. And if the next time you eat a piece of our chocolate, I want you to, just when you finish it, you'll get a little taste in your mouth, but it's the taste that makes you want one more bite. It actually finishes and it disappears, and you want more. That's kind of what we're, you know, it's almost like
I'm already aware of what
Starbucks.
That is.
We think about Starbucks. You know, people, you have to go have the Starbucks again. We want them to have to come and have chocolate again. But because we love to have our customers enjoy themselves.
Right. Well, it's funny you bring up Starbucks, because when you were talking about the beans, obviously you're the first person I've ever talked to. I shouldn't say obviously, you don't know that. You're the first person I've ever talked to that makes chocolate, but I've talked to a couple people that are really into making coffee, and you know, they are just so staunch about, the beans. It's all about the beans. It's all about where you get them and how they're, how they're grown, how they're made, how they're roasted, the whole thing. So you bringing up that, I thought was kind of full circle.
It is. It's, you know what? It's similar. In fact, we could take coffee beans and use them in the process to make, I don't know, you really can't call it chocolate, but it's a very intense coffee thing. And it's the same process that you would use, which we have done. And for some people there, we do a lot of private label work as well.
Right.
So, so we get an opportunity to do some things for other people and not put our name on it.
Oh, okay. So people outsource through you.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. So we do get to do some crazy stuff.
Very cool. Well, I want to come back to that, but I kind of want to dive into kind of the reason why we're here, how like this all came about. So, a little backstory for everybody that'll be tuning in. In mid to late October, it came to my attention, Sarris partnered with a major social media platform. And knowing the massive amount of potential exposure and attention that you can receive in a partnership like that, it fascinated me both as like a tech geek and a marketer. And I also had one of those like real big Pittsburgh proud moments for a local icon to be featured in like a global spotlight. So there was that too. I did a little rant on my Instagram stories that reached whoever manages your social media. And that basically brings us to where we are right now. So will you do me the pleasure of filling us in about your Halloween collaboration with TikTok?
Yeah, I can get you through. I'll get you through the story. Originally, we do some work for a company in New York City. Okay, big name company, but private label that particular bass cake. Well, TikTok called them and said, "Hey, you know what? We like that. Can you do this for us?" They in turn called us and said, "Hey, we're going to hook you up with TikTok. They want a special order. You might as well handle it yourself." So they put us in contact together with TikTok. So they then they came to us and said, "Hey, you know what? Here's what we want. Here's how we want to make it happen. Here's how we want these things decorated." So what we did was they gave us an order, and we had to get this thing done in 3 weeks. That means made and shipped for the TikTokers, whatever you call them, TikTokers, to get these things by Halloween. So we went through the process. We managed to get this thing done, but they sent out almost 1,900 individual. My wife's clapping. Anyway, I can hear her. She don't know. She has headphones on. Anyway, yeah. So we did this thing. They shipped 1,800 all over the United States, Alaska, Hawaii. And I don't know how they picked and choose which people did that, but who received them. But that was interesting, going back and forth. They're based in the U.S., California. So we had communications with somebody in California, another one in Hawaii, another person in China. So coordinating the communication with all the time zones and stuff was crazy.
Oh, sure.
You know what? And then to see contracts come in English and Chinese. Okay, and dealing with an international company, and I know there's issues with TikTok now going on or not going on or whatever, but it was really great working with them. Exposure for us, and they said it was the greatest thing they've ever done. The response was the greatest response they ever had on something that they've done for their TikTokers.
That's
Yeah.
amazing, because I was actually going to ask you if you got any feedback with them about, because I had seen a fair amount of those videos come up because they give them to their influencers. So it's these people that have giant followings, and so they must have some sort of a cutoff point of how many followers they must have to make the cut to get one of your Halloween packages. And yeah, the videos were, some of them were funny, some of them were cute. And there's a girl who's actually from Pittsburgh who's very big now in like the tech world. Justine
Huh?
Ezerick. I don't know if
Yes.
you know about her.
I know. I know because of the videos.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. So I saw that she had gotten one, but I had seen a bunch of other ones too. But she was super excited, obviously, because she's from here, and she, couldn't believe that you guys were partnered with TikTok. And at that point, I was already kind of in motion with talking to whoever runs your social media. Um, so so do you
Yeah.
think this partnership is like a one-off project, or do you think it'll be more of a recurring arrangement with them?
I don't. You know what? I don't know. I'm gonna. It's in their hands to see if they want to do anything else. But it was an interesting process because you know what? Maybe you know more than I'm sure you know more than I do. I was curious. We've got phone calls from influencers, TikTokers, and we'll call them influencers,
Yeah.
that called up and said, I never got one of those bass cakes. Why not? Well, your name wasn't on the list. I don't know. How do I get on the list? There was another person who called from Pittsburgh. I'm not going to, I can say who it is, or I don't have to say who it is. The young gentleman has 1.5 million followers, and he called us to say, hey, I didn't get one. Can you put me in contact with somebody? I guess these influencers want to have products. They want to make money. I don't know how the money works, but they want endorsements or, products. And I don't know. I don't know if 1.5 million is a lot of people. It is to me.
It
But
definitely is. There are people that have multi-millions, hundreds of millions. It's kind of wild. And a lot of it is, so they kind of see themselves in league with these other influencers. So if there's some influencers that got it and they didn't, then all of a sudden they feel a tier below. So there's a little bit of an ego thing going on there, as well as probably like a marketing thing too. They've probably been marketing themselves as being on that same level, but somehow, they missed the cut.
yeah, but it's just interesting how that works. I still don't know how they sit there and some people make a hell of a lot of money doing
They,
that, and other people are trying to do that. So,
mm-hmm.
I make candy, okay? I make chocolate. I have no idea. In fact, I have a dog. I have a dog that, because of the TikTok thing, I went on. So my dog has a TikTok account, and I don't do much with it, but I had to do it just the beginning to get on there. So it's definitely interesting. I mean, it's top. It's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's really cool. I was kind of blown away, and I'm glad that it went so well for you. I'm glad that you got such great feedback. Have any of the influencers themselves tried to just reach out and want to like move forward with their own partnerships with you?
We have a few that have contacted us, and of course, they want sponsors, and
Oh,
that's
of
really
course.
what. In fact, we had one actually came in today and spent the day at our office with our marketing people to see if it's something that if they can work together. It's another Pittsburgh person, so they're trying. I mean, they work as hard as anybody else trying to do something.
Oh
So,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. It's a young crowd on there. I don't know. It's nice for us to hit a different demographic. When you're talking about branding, that's a whole different demographic. Do they spend anything? We don't know. We're going to find out. We are. I can tell you more. What we're doing now is we're also working with, this opened up a really national thing for us where we're getting people calling us and saying, hey, you worked with TikTok. We're Ohio University. We have a group, a class, and it's analytical. I'm going to call them scientists, okay? But they're technical, analytical. They're not in the lab pouring liquid in the jar.
Yeah.
They're doing everything. And they want to do they want to do a class or do something on the analytics of the marketing behind the TikTok and us and what it did for us and this stuff. So they're going to do, as a class, a group, they'll do in the spring. They'll spend 3 months doing the numbers for us. It's going to come back and say, here's what works, here's what didn't, here's what you should be doing, here's what you shouldn't be doing. So, getting an opportunity to do that, you can't pay for that kind of stuff. You're getting super good young minds that are going to come in and tell you things to take your data and use it in a way to come back and give you information that's priceless. So that's opportunities for us.
Well, I mean, you can definitely pay for it. It ain't cheap.
No, believe me, it's not. You're right.
But that's actually very cool. I would really love to circle back with you whenever that's all done, just to see kind of what the breakdown is that they came up with. That stuff really fascinates me. But yeah, I just think that was such an amazing partnership. It seems so random to me. Like I just didn't see it coming. But I loved it all the same. I thought there was such an amazing opportunity for you guys. So congratulations on that. And it's very, very exciting. I'd love to see you guys on that massive stage.
Yep. Well, you can come back to us and after when school's out, I guess, come April after Easter and all that. And hopefully they're coming up with some information that I'm really excited to take a look at and see what happens.
Awesome. Well, I will definitely take you up on that because that is right up my alley for sure. All right, so I'm going to pivot just a little bit now. I always do like a story time segment where I ask the guests to tell me about their professional journey. But with you, that's kind of like asking, tell me your life story. So instead, I have a 2-tiered question for you. One, what are some of the major milestone evolutions you've seen the company make in your lifetime? And then 2, what would you say would be the major highlights of your professional growth over the years?
Okay. Let me say, tell me the first question again.
Okay. I had to write this down for myself as well. What are some of the...
My dog's chasing deer, so so she's barking.
What are some of the major milestone evolutions you've seen the company make in your lifetime?
Okay. Let's see. I can tell you when we started. One huge milestone was when I was a senior in high school. Our class needed money for senior prom, that type of thing. Okay. So, they needed, I think, $3,000. So we come back and I said to, my dad, I said, hey, why don't we do some fundraising, and we talked about it and said, hey, yeah, we'll give them, our class will go out and they'll sell to their families and stuff. And we'll give them a percentage of the profits and all that. My dad was already doing some things with, at that time, the little clubs, the Moose Club, the Bears Club, the White Eagles Club. All these had little Christmas parties and stuff. So he was kind of doing that stuff already. So we ended up making about $8,000. We only needed 3 a day. So what we did was, I had 400 and some people in our class. So back then it paid for their prom tickets. It paid for their yearbook. It paid for the cap and gown. It paid for their rings. Okay, so it was just thing, and then there was still money left over, and we ended up building something outside of the school. I don't even remember, some kind of thing. That was a huge milestone in us growing for fundraising. That was huge.
I actually want to interrupt you real quick. My friend asked me to thank you personally because your fundraising programs have done so much good for animal shelters, and she's so into supporting animal shelters. So she wanted me to thank you for that.
Well, that's again, so much appreciated. That's one thing that we've done, and I'll kind of get to that type of thing later, but that fundraising was a big milestone. We had a milestone was when another candy company, the gentleman, all the candy companies, by the way, back in my dad's day, were all friends. Everybody was friends because there was a lot of candy makers in little towns. Everybody had their own little town, so they were all friends. Well, one of the candy gentlemen passed away, and the daughter came up to us and said, "Hey, we need help. We have candy in Giant Eagle. We have 3 little locations. And can you help us here? Because I'm not making candy. I told Giant Eagle you'd help us out for the holidays." And my question was, well, how much are they selling? How much do you do there? She says, well, you'll do, in all 3 stores total, you'll do about $40,000. I said, man, that's a big, that's pretty good. Again, my dad, we talked about it. I said, okay, let's go do it. Well, my wife ended up managing at the time. So we took 3 stores. Those 3 stores, instead of doing 40,000 total, they did 150,000.
Wow.
That's when Giant Eagle came back and said, hey, we need to talk. Okay. That was another milestone in putting us in another area where we weren't. Okay. Now we're doing, we had our retail store. Now we're doing fundraising. Now we're doing what we call the wholesale business. So, we had a number of things like that. We went into corporate sales, businesses to buy, we do custom logos, for example.
Right.
Okay. You can put we say, if you can put it on paper, we can put it on chocolate. Okay. You draw it, we can put it on chocolate. So, we do a lot of custom stuff like that on the corporate end, just like TikTok. Mm-hmm. So we do that. That was another milestone in our business as we grew. We grew out of our places landlocked, so we ended up buying Gardner's Candies in Altoona, PA, Tyrone, PA. That was in 1997. That was another thing because we needed equipment. We needed to produce, and they had the stuff there. Their family didn't want to be a business anymore. So, we did that. And the other milestone is, our family has kidney disease. Okay. I had a kidney, 1997, I had a kidney removed.
Oh.
Yeah. So, I lost one kidney. My dad had a kidney transplant. My dad's sisters all died of kidney disease. So that's in our family. So the other, milestones that we did, we worked with the transplant people at UPMC, and we donated a wing there, which is for the transplant patients. We do, and we have the Sarris Candies library, my Frank Sarris library in Canonsburg.
Mm-hmm.
My dad, we believed in helping people. Education was the library. Health was the stuff that we did with UPMC. Dr. Stars on the transplant team. Pitt University transplant that we've done. So, and of course the arts and things like that. So, 3 things that were important that my dad never had when he was young. Okay. He grew up with nothing. We were fortunate to grow up and have an opportunity as a son to grow up and have that. So, there's a lot of milestones in between those 2, but you said major, and I think those are pretty darn major.
I would definitely call those major, and that's actually kind of amazing. I mean, we're in this situation right now where there's so many people that need things, and to just and now kind of everybody's scrambling to try to provide, because it doesn't seem like we're set up to really we weren't set up for this type of a immediate impact. But you guys kind of always had it as like your mission all along. So I just think that there's something something really noble and authentic about that. So that's really awesome that you did that.
Yep, it's something. Like I said, we don't take compliments. I don't take compliments very well, but that's something that the family has done and always gave back to the community and other things that were important. People, lifesavers, people that save lives. Okay, and it's funny. Is my dad went in because he had dialysis.
Mm-hmm.
And he went into the dialysis place and he looked and the chairs were crummy. Okay, the chairs where the people had to sit for hours a day and the TVs didn't work and all that. He came out of there after the first time he went in and he says, go revamp that whole place. I want all new chairs. I want the walls painted. I want all new TVs. If I'm going to sit there, those people are going to sit there. They've got to be comfortable all day. So he did that in that whole unit. That was him. That's the stuff
incredible.
That we did. Yeah. So, it's important. Touching. It's important.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that. All right. So then on to number 2, what would you say would be the major highlights of your professional growth over the years?
Oh boy, that's all tied in right there with that. Major highlights. Gosh. Back to the same thing, fundraising. I'll give one really major highlight was when I had the opportunity to go in there and redevelop the chocolate from bean to bar. To take those beans and get the milk and do that and be able to go in there and say, yeah, those are the beans I want. Those are the beans we're going to use. We're not taking these. It's like going to, you're going to the coffee growers and going up the mountains and going, hey, that's the beans that I want. So, that was really a really big milestone when we started doing that, because then we could sit there and say, hey, yeah, we use these beans, we use fresh whole milk, that type of thing. So that was huge. Just our expansions, our growth, our growth kept growing. Our building is in sections. We never went into one big building. It was, 30 feet by 100 at a time, and adding on to the right of the store and to the left of the store and expanding everything. In milestone, every day is a milestone. Everything we do every day, I get up, I'm an early bird, so I get up very early in the morning and I'll spend 3 or 4 hours at home, because I know by the time I get to work, there's no plan that I've had that's going to work out. This is the best plan. This is the best plan I had all day. I knew it was going to come and it was right on time and all that. That doesn't happen during the day.
So. Hey, you know what? It's funny. I basically started this podcast like right after the shutdown happened, and I was like, this might be the dumbest thing I've ever done, because I'm asking all the people who are probably having like the least amount of free time if they will give me some time to talk about their business. But I'm curious. Did your family find it very important to remain in Canonsburg? Like, I'm positive that you probably kicked it around a little bit whenever you needed to expand, whether or not you would just move to a larger building that already existed somewhere else. Was that like a big time value that you stayed where you were?
Well, we had nine major expansions over the years, by adding on the buildings, different warehouses. We had some property elsewhere, so warehousing. Yes, we've thought and said, hey, you know what? are we crazy staying here and keep adding on like this? Why not go do a beautiful building somewhere and do that? And you know what? We always said, you know what? Our location in Canonsburg is just, you know, for this tri-state area. You've got Ohio that isn't that far away. You've got West Virginia that isn't that far away. Literally, you have our tri-state is around Pittsburgh area. We cover about 150 miles. We call our service area. I don't know where else we would go. People like it. It's easy on, easy off the exits. Plus, we've been there long enough that it's convenient. You know, you sit there and say, oh, we've been there. I'd love to hear that, by the way, when I see somebody and go, and it doesn't matter. I was in South Carolina and walked into a boat dock. We're just walking there, and I had my Sarris Candies hat on. And somebody says, hey, where'd you get that hat? I said, oh, I got it at Sarris Candies. Man, I've been to that store. It's great. I love it and everything. And my wife says, you gonna tell him who you are? I said, no, let's let him go for a little while. I like what he's talking about. But this is, you know, you hear this all over the place. That just humbles me. I just don't realize. I don't see it from your end. I don't
Right.
see it from the other people. I see it from inside and how hard we work and what we do every day. You know, we're doing another project right now. You know, everybody's into the cocoa bombs.
Yeah.
Did you see the cocoa bombs? That's the, you know, they drop it in a cup and put your hot milk in it and do that. Well, you know, we're sitting there and saying, can you make cocoa bombs? Now we're sitting there trying to do a production schedule and get this stuff ready for the first to go in and do that. So we're basically starting from scratch on a project where you have to buy molds. You know, we can't do just, you know, really that's a home project.
Yeah.
You know, you go to Michael's or somewhere, you buy the little mold, you buy those little melting wafers, and you make your little thing. You know, but to do a production thing on it where you got to make 1,000, 2,000 of those a day, we're working on it. So, but that's fun stuff.
Yeah,
We like
yeah.
it.
Actually, my company is kind of the same in that aspect. We call ourselves a creative partnership. So you kind of come to us for whatever wild project you have, and then we are the facilitator. We become, you know, because we're the guys that have the tech, like kind of the hands-on like industrial tech know-how, and then also the design know-how and branding know-how. So we take all of that and we find a way to make it happen. We facilitate it for the company so that they can just keep working on whatever they're working on, and then we just kind of bring it all together, make sure that, you know, the quality meets the expectation, and, you know, that's kind of like what we do. So I understand that completely.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what kind of, we're all in the same kind of business. We just, the products are different.
Yeah.
We all do the same thing. Okay, you do. It's amazing. So.
Yeah. Well, so you're talking about, you know, this guy, you know, kind of just randomly talking to you, didn't even realize that he was talking to a Sarris, but like, so you obviously, you know, like Sarris is iconic for Pittsburgh. What's it like to run a company that is synonymous with the core identity of like what makes Pittsburgh who it is? You know, like, how does that make you feel, like knowing that you are like literally a part of the identity of Pittsburgh?
You know what? It's amazing. Okay, but it's Pittsburgh. You know, I never cannot say Canonsburg, PA.
Right.
But when somebody says, where are you from? We always start with Pittsburgh because everybody knows Pittsburgh. And, you know, to see your name on the list says top 10 things to do in Pittsburgh, and you're on that list, that's just amazing. And now just, I think, just yesterday, they introduced our new product that we have, and that's it's Pittsburgh pothole filler.
You should make it the sinkhole filler.
Well, it's but it's dark chocolate covered popcorn, and it looks like PennDOT on the box, and it's a cute little clever package. And we're working with the Yinzer people in town that have the Yinzer cards. And some KDKA TV people who are part of the Yinzer group. So we worked with them. They just put it out. It's everywhere, you know. And then we've already getting feedback on that it's a novelty thing. And if it wasn't for Pittsburgh, that thing wouldn't mean anything, you know. But already we're getting calls from Buffalo and areas that have bottles and say, "Hey, can you make us those? Can you get us that thing?" So Pittsburgh, you know what? Pittsburgh's Pittsburgh. Okay. So to sit there and say, I'm from here, but you know, when you meet people like that and they see Sarris or they see something and said, don't tell them your name. I always have some ice cream cards with me and all that. Hey, if you ever come back, here's a free sundae. Then they know who you are. Okay?
Right.
But yeah, you introduce yourself after that, but it's fun. Yeah. It's like I said, it's humbling to hear it, but you love to hear it. And, you know, it's Pittsburgh. It's iconic. Pittsburgh's iconic. So anybody that can say they're from Pittsburgh and they have a business here, it's another notch.
Yeah. I can't agree more. I've done a lot of traveling. Whenever I was in college, I did a little bit of tour managing for a band. So I've basically seen every major city in the continental US, and there's still something about Pittsburgh. You know, like it's still it's definitely in my top 10. It might be in my top 5 still. Just there's something about it.
One of the greatest cities around. And the suburbs. Okay. We call us the suburbs, right? They're the core. They're the core of Pittsburgh. Even though Pittsburgh's the city, the suburbs are the core. Everywhere you go, north, south, east, west, they all contribute something. So it's, you know, you gotta love it.
Yeah, for sure. So this is going to kind of come out of left field a little bit, but I know that you come from Greek heritage. Does that have any influence when it comes to the recipes of your products?
No, not at all. No, not at all. Candy's candy. My background was in chemistry in college and stuff, and I liked that all the time. So, you know, the thing I miss the most about being in the candy business is making candy. I'm stuck in an office all day. I don't have the luxury to go in there and, you know, we do some do some formulas and things like that. It's all on the computer, and then somebody else gets to go play in the mud, I call it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
They get to go do the fun work. Okay. And go do that. And then, hey, bring that, taste this, you know, where I don't get to do that. But, you know, that's something that I kind of miss doing that. But the people around us, you know, the office people are nuts. It's a fun place to work. And we're all close together too. I'm not in an office by myself. I'm sitting right there within 6 feet of 4 other people. You know, so
well, hopefully you enjoy them.
We do. You know what? You hear everybody else talk. You hit there. You interrupt somebody. You know, but yeah, it's great. I can't say that I'm looking forward to continue going on.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, how you probably get this comparison or get this question a lot, like how much do people bring up like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory to you? They have to.
Everybody does.
Of course.
Yeah, anywhere you go. It's hey, you're in the candy business. You're Willy Wonka guy. You know what? I never watched the movie.
Really?
No, I've never watched the movie. I don't want to see somebody doing better than me. No, well, I really haven't watched the movie.
Only fictionally.
Yeah, I really haven't. I haven't watched it, you know.
But hey, if you have a golden ticket, give it to me.
Yeah, I don't know why, but yeah, we can find one.
All right, I'll take it.
We can find a golden ticket and do something. We've done that for some people too, but Yeah,
That would be, I listen, I'm a pretty skinny guy, but I wouldn't remain that way if I had that.
Nobody gains weight when they work there. They stay the same. I think they eat candy and don't eat lunch, or they'll eat chocolate and don't eat dinner. But, you'd think you're going to come there and gain weight. The only person that does is me.
We'll have to figure out how to get you on the floor a little bit more.
Really, yeah. I got to get me walking up and down there. So,
speaking of like getting you on the floor, so obviously you're growing up in a family business, but you were talking about, you have a college background in chemistry. Have you ever worked anywhere else, or has it just always been within the family business?
well, the growing up, the candy people, I always say candy people. My dad's group, they shut down in the summertime. They didn't think people would be coming and buying candy in the summertime. So for three months in the summer, just literally closed the store. My dad would golf. They'd go with their friends. They'd go with other candy people on trips.
They've heard of kids, right? We have no school. What's all we're looking for is candy.
Oh, it was great to go sit there afterwards and say, hey, we're opening up. Now we're going to start opening in the summertime, and people are going to start coming. But I'm beating around the bush because I forgot your question about.
Oh, have you worked anywhere else outside of the shop?
Oh, okay, yes. So those summers there, I did. I used to go. I worked at a medical facility in Pittsburgh. Gosh, it was so far back again, so back there. But just packaging boxes. I worked at Allegheny Center on when they built it, still walking up there. What an idiot. Now I'm afraid of heights. I used to sit on those beams and eat lunch, and now I can't even look over a railing. So yeah, I had quite a number of summer jobs. Worked at hospitals, Allegheny General Hospital, worked there. I had an uncle that worked Manpower, okay, which was the job place. So he always had jobs for me, and they, back then they paid pretty decent money. So me and my friends would say, hey, I got 2 or 3 of us want to go work all summer. So we had jobs all summer long. So I always worked.
Where was that? The connection paused a little bit on me.
Oh, Manpower. My uncle worked for Manpower, which was a job placement.
Oh, okay.
Thing. Okay, just like it was a job placement type thing. But so he got jobs. He got us jobs. So nice. Working at Allegheny Center, still walking, inside warehousing, packing orders. Just did quite a few jobs, all growing up, all summers long, till college. Out of college, I came back and started in the candy business. I actually taught school for a while.
Oh, really? Really? Did you teach chemistry?
Yeah, chemistry. Yes, I graduated in January, which was like a half a year early. I finished college. So one of the professors said, hey, can you do me a favor? I need you to go teach for me at Upper St. Clair. Student teach over there just for 3 months. Ended up the teacher I was working with got sick. So I stayed there till the end of school. So I was after that. I said, man, that's something I did not want to do. One of the hardest jobs, I think, is doing that. They work their butts off, educating these kids that are learning to become adults. Tough business. That's a tough business.
I know all too well. My mom and both of my sisters are all in education, and man, like there's just it's like a get into sainthood free card whenever you do that. I mean, on the other side of the coin, I was a nightmare student. My mom is a teacher, and I'm the kid that like nobody can like reel in. But actually my mom was it 2007 was the Pennsylvania Teacher of the Year. Got to meet Bush, I believe, was the president at the time, and everything like that. It was a pretty amazing honor. But yeah, I mean, all my life, I've only ever heard the struggles of the teacher.
I know, but you learned a lot.
Certainly did. Certainly did.
Maybe not in the classroom, but you definitely learned a lot.
Yeah, well, I mean, strangely enough, like all those like really basic, foundational courses like English and math, that's always been drilled into me. I didn't love math, but I'm good at it. It helps. My brain works mathematically now. I've always been, kind of natural with English, but that was a big thing. My mom was a big focuser on both of that. Like she wanted to make sure that like that was a good foundation for me. So yeah, like having somebody at home that was kind of in the industry that knew like, you need this, you need to be good at these things. So that was always good for me.
And I found, and it's surprising that, I have grandkids and stuff, they're in school and they're going, why do I need algebra? Why do I need, it's surprising that we use those things every day. We do, whether you're doing, whether you're counting, whether you're formulating, whether you're adjusting, we're taking small batches of chocolate, okay, and still make small batches. Okay, one stove at a time for our caramel, the same way my dad did it. The only difference is instead of having him stand there and stir it, we have automatic stirrers. But it's the same thing. It's never changed. And to make more, we have more cooking kettles. Okay, we don't do it automatically. We don't cheat on the ingredients. So that's the stuff when I sit there and say, here's what we do to help our employees and to produce more. Say, wow, how do you produce that? It's exactly the same way. We just use more equipment to do it. And that's, part of the things that we do. We haven't changed. We don't even do, we might do some crazy fad things, but the chocolate, the pieces that we make, nobody wants us to do a crazy a sweet and sour noodle, sweet and sour worm covered with chocolate. That's not, we don't do that. People come to us, okay? We're not the most expensive, but we're not the cheapest, but we do feel like we're giving you the best you can get. So when you come in our store, okay, and it's calories, okay? They're good calories, but you don't want to waste it on something strange. You want your favorite. You want what you grew up on. Just like you asked me what was my favorite, and I said peanut butter. I'm not wasting that on something else to go do this. If I want to enjoy it, I want my peanut butter cup. That's what I said. So people do that. Okay, they grew up with their favorite, and they still want their favorite when they come.
Right. Well, you were saying, so like speaking of strange things, since you outsource for other people, I'm sure they've given you strange requests. What's the strangest product people have tried to ask of you?
Chocolate covered crickets. Cricket clusters. Organic raised cricket clusters. That's one.
Did you try it?
Oh, we made a whole bunch of them.
Well, I mean, did you try one?
I most certainly did. I tried it. Yeah, the little feet get stuck in your teeth. and you know what? We have people in there that when we did do that, we took it out and said, hey, try this. What is that? Just try it. And wow, that's not bad. It's a little crunchy. But these things kept getting in my teeth. Yeah, we've done that was one of the crazy things that we've done. I think that's probably one of the craziest bugs. We've done some other stuff that we've tested, like little worms and real ones, little ones, stuff like that. Stuff that people, the organic people now, I'm going to say organic, but people that are, they're eating bugs.
Yeah.
You can go on Amazon, you see just put bugs, you see little bags of bugs. There's a lot of protein in them that people have been eating there, but I don't know too much. We did some, they never placed another order, so I don't think they sold very well. But we made them.
Well, they paid you, so you're all good.
Yeah, that was good, but that's crazy. Yeah, we've done a lot of, we made a life-size person. There was an artist. There's an artist that wanted to do a project, and she wanted her body laying down. Her body, she wanted to make a chocolate out of it. So she laid down, and we did the plaster all over her, and they did that and flipped it over, made a mold. So we made a mold, and then what we did was we took white chocolate and we burned it so that it would burn and swirl and look like marble.
Oh, okay.
So her body looked like, when we were done, it looked like marble. And it wasn't, it was just, the detail was amazing. But that's one other big project that we did.
All right. So it looked like a real statue.
It was, yeah. It went into New York Museum for her art show.
That's amazing.
So we shipped that, hauled that thing to it was 155 pounds. She weighed 140 pounds. So there was a little more chocolate to her than she was. But yeah, that was one big thing that we've done, that too. And we do our castle. Now we have a chocolate wall of chocolate. We did that for our 60th this year, but we haven't really got a chance to let people come in and show it because you can't, they're not coming in.
Well, I'm actually getting there. So COVID obviously swooped in and took the business world by surprise and basically continues to wreak havoc across most industries. What has been the most challenging obstacle for Sarris in all of this, and how has the company pivoted to adapt to this new business landscape?
Well, of course, at the time, we had to close our store and close the ice cream parlor, so no customers, shut down. But what we were lucky with was we supply a lot of grocery stores that were deemed essential. Okay, so we kept working. And those stores, that was around Easter time.
Right.
Okay, where we, and then we did curbside. Of course, we did the curbside thing and set that all up with the phones and the, texting and getting people trained to use the process. Okay, it's really interesting, with a big sign up on the wall that says, when you get here, text this number, and they don't. They'll email, they'll do that, and then they say, I've been here an hour, I don't have my order. Well, you're supposed to text, you don't email. you train, you have to train people. And now that we've been doing it, that's easy. So, we accommodated the customer as best we could. We changed the way we do our business, especially on the retail end. It affected everybody. We were lucky. We were lucky that we were able to keep everybody working. And again, through Easter and everything else. And now, our store is open, and it's large enough that it's fine. Ice cream parlor, you can't come in and sit down. We have outside seatings, or you sit in your car, just like you go to, the old Eaton Park thing where you sat in your car and you ate.
Right. They put the tray on the side of the window.
That's what people are doing. Everybody's doing. If they're lucky enough to stay open, that's what people are doing. Okay. If that was the only business that we had, would be in big trouble. And that's why I understand there's people in these restaurants and things like that that just struggling because you need customers. Okay? You can't survive without customers. So it's a battle that I don't think is going to end. Everybody says, oh, this election, when it's over, that's going to be, COVID's going away. It's not going away. It's just not going to go away. We got our hands full for a while.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I know they came out with that Pfizer announcement today that there's, some promising vaccine, but, until they're ready to put it in production, I'm just kind of,
I don't know if I would or not. I don't know.
But
don't know. Maybe they can put something in chocolate and it'll be easy to swallow.
Well, so you were talking about, how when all this started, it was Easter. but now we're kind of knocking on the door of the holiday season. Are there any surprises Sarris has been keeping close to the vest? Like, do you have anything big, any big plans on the work for the future?
No, I just think we have to, status quo. We want to keep working, keep supplying our vendors that can work, and slowly but surely, we do a lot of business with Hallmark, and they're still shut down on a lot of their places. So they really haven't come back yet. They're in a lot of malls
Right.
that haven't opened right, and it's a numbers game. So getting through Christmas in any business, you're busy. Christmas parties for restaurants, things like that just hurt. Okay,
Right.
so we're gonna see. Like I says, we're lucky, but we need this thing to go away.
Yeah, I agree. But until then, steady as she goes, I guess.
You just got to do what you got to do to keep your employees working, keep your customers happy, and maintaining your business the best you can. I think that's for everybody.
Well, amen to that. So I'm going to say that we are in the home stretch now. I'm not going to take up too much more of your time. But I always think a really fun way to wrap this up is, I've been asking you all these questions and everybody gets to listen to your answers. So you get to ask the people listening anything you want to know from them.
Oh my, that's a tough question there. Okay. Oh my. What would I want to know? Oh, God. I don't know if I want to know anything. I really don't. I just want people to know how happy we are that we have such a people following our brand. Okay. And, when you sit there and say, what would they expect from us more than anything else? That's probably what I'd ask our customers. What do you expect us? What do you expect from us? And hopefully their answer is to continue what you're doing and make the best chocolate possible. That's kind of the answer that I'd love to hear.
I would imagine that's probably the answer that I would give you. So just based on everything that I said early on, I mean, for me, it would be such a jarring thing to find out that like if Sarris just like ended overnight, I'd be like, oh man, that's like a giant part of like my childhood. That was like my memories include you.
Well, that was the fire. I forgot about the fire. Thank goodness. But we had our fire, man. That was, you talk about a milestone. I forgot about that.
I actually meant to ask you about that, but we kind of like circumvented it a little bit.
Well, why? There's just so much that I don't know. We're just happy. We're happy to be around. Okay. Yeah. And that's it. And no, I don't think we're going anywhere tomorrow or for a while. God, I hope not.
Yeah,
we don't have any plan to. We don't have any plan to. Let me put it that way.
Well, that's definitely good to hear.
We just want to keep going. But, I really appreciate the opportunity to sit down with you.
Oh, man. I am – this is unbelievable for me. I can't – my mom is going to be so – her mind is going to be blown that I got to sit down with you.
You're going to ask if you did good or not. Is that what she's going to say? Did you do good?
Well, I think she's going to judge me harshly based on whenever she watches this. That's for sure. Okay. But I think she'll like the shout out that I gave her in the teaching area. So, I think I did my due diligence making her look
you
good.
have to cover your bases with your parents. There's no doubt about it. You got to throw them some happiness there too. So let them know that you're always thinking about them.
Absolutely. All right. Well, lastly, so that people can give you their expectations of you, tell the people where they can reach you, your website, social media, anything that you want them to, go to find Sarris Candies.
Well, the best thing to do to get us is to go to sarriscandies.com. Okay, when you go to our website, everything's there. And surprisingly, if you contact us, you send a message, go down and say, contact Sarris Candies. It goes through my desk. I see them all. So if somebody says, hey, give Bill Sarris a message, they don't have to. I get that message. So it comes to me. So please, please, compliments. We like compliments. Send compliments. One thing, because of fundraising, I just tell you one more thing real quick before we go. Because of fundraising, when he would deliver candy and these kids would get this candy, sometimes they'd leave it in their trunk for a week. They'd put it on top of the car and drive away, and their candy, where it would get slowly run over by another car for some reason. And we always said, we take our product seriously, so we 100% guarantee everything we make, anytime we make, no questions asked. It's candy, okay? It melts. It picks up odors around it. It's a candy. You better get it and eat it and enjoy it, okay? And once in a while, if you're really nice, you can share.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. So.
Well, man, this was just awesome. Just awesome.
Yeah,
I couldn't
time
have asked.
flies. I'm looking at God. I said, we've gone on for a while, so that's no problem. I enjoyed it.
Oh, I mean, I would love to do this again, 100%. And man, this was just such a fun conversation. I'd love to meet you in person whenever all this is over and you're able to have people. I'd love to come down to the shop and visit you and let you meet my guys.
You're more than welcome. We'll give you the back door tour and see what's going on in there. We used to do that. We can't even do tours anymore.
Right.
This thing going on. But when it's time to be opened up and all that, yes, you are more than welcome to come down and enjoy some stuff, and we'll give you the tour and let you eat stuff as it's coming down the belts and right in the kitchen, and just have fun. It's fun. It's amazing what we do, and I only say that because people tell me that when they go through, even though it's every day for me, and that's fantastic. But
I'll wear my sweatpants
very much. Oh, you do, no problem. There's a lot of steps in there. We'll wear you down.
Yeah, like, again, thank you for your time. I am incredibly humbled to be sitting next to, or I guess, virtually across from a Pittsburgh, Canonsburg icon. And, just keep doing what you're doing. I loved everything you said today. It was really awesome.
Well, I appreciate it. You know what? I was wonderful being here. I appreciate you taking the time to let me take the time to sit and talk. And you're welcome anytime. Thank you very, very much.
You're very welcome. Well, take care.
All right. Hey, thanks. See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.